All right, now, if you watch the DAZN boxing show, and I'm sure a lot of you guys do watch the DAZN boxing show, my fellow pundit, Tony Bellew, is probably the biggest Evertonian that you guys know, but he's not been happy recently because these Toffee side haven't been great so far this season.
Just lacking goals, that's all it really is. I think we've got a solid foundation now, solid back four, and we're really hard to beat, which I'm really happy about. I think Frank's transformed that defence into a gang of leaders, and that's great to see. I just think he's the perfect man for the job, yes. I'm backing Frank Lampard all the way. A couple of faces out, a couple of new faces in, voices in, Taki, Cody, big personalities in the dressing room, something that we've lacked over the last few years. Richie was a brilliant player, a talisman for our club and team. Someone who knew where the net was, someone who put his body on the line, was a fighter to the core. We miss him, we still love him, but everyone has the time in football, and he had his time at Everton, and now we wish him well at Tottenham. No one wants to play Man City, to be honest, do they? I mean, they're just phenomenal. They've got this demon up front called Haaland, and he just can't stop hitting the net. So hopefully he's got a cold or something like that for when he's due to face Everton. But yeah, they're the only ones I'd say I genuinely fear. We've already played the other gang from over the other side of the park, and I think we deserve to win that game. So yeah, it's one of them. No, I don't think we're going to be in a relegation battle, but we need to start getting wins on the board instead of draws. It is what it is. We're just lacking goals at the minute. 2 of them draws should have been wins, if I'm being totally honest. When you've got a talisman like Dominic Calvert-Lewin injured at the minute, it's going to really affect us. And we've just got Mopay in, who's going to help us with goals, hopefully. That's all we're missing. We'd lost our good goal scorer in Richarlison, as we touched on before. We've just got to start putting the ball in the back of the net, because, as I said before, the most important thing is Everton Football Club is now a hard team to beat. No one enjoys coming to Goodison Park. Absolutely nobody, besides Everton fans.
Always great to hear from Tony Bellew. That was recorded last week. Obviously, he's in a much better mood today. I just actually caught up with Tony Bellew, Everton picking up an important 3 points against West Ham. Neil Mopay scoring the goal. He might just be there out to score all the goals they need to survive in the Premier League this season. What do you make of their start, Leanne, Everton so far?
Yeah, I think I love Tony Bellew. I've worked with him a couple of times, but I felt like I was a bit of a delusional Man United fan, but I'm surprised that he's as happy as he is, because I don't think Everton have been that good this season, genuinely. I think obviously getting that win at the weekend, Neil Mopay scoring that goal, and I understand why they got him in from Brighton. I really do. It makes sense. I think it's about 20 million, which in this day and age is a bargain, but he's not going to get you double digits for me. Having said that, I said that I meant about Mitrovic at Fulham, and I could be wrong about that one as well. But, you know, I think ultimately, similar to when Fulham came up into the Premier League a couple of years ago, they kept drawing games. Now they need to win games, which they have done against West Ham at the weekend. But I still feel like, you know, Tony mentioned about Conor Cody coming in. Absolutely fantastic signing, leadership qualities, absolutely. But I still think they're lacking in certain areas. You know, I think in the midfield area, the attacking midfield, whether Anthony Gordon's playing in the 10 or on the left or the right, I think it was key that they was able to keep hold of him in the transfer window as well. But I think Patterson, that fullback as well, he's been absolutely brilliant. So I don't think they're out of, you know, I'm not saying Everton are going to be in a relegation battle, but I don't see everything that Tony Bellew's seeing to a certain degree. I like Frank Lampard as a person, but at the same time, I was surprised when he got this job, because I felt like he hasn't had that much experience. It didn't go great for him at Chelsea. And obviously at Derby, he did okay. So I hope he does well, Everton. But they're going to need to start winning games away from home as well, because as we know, the fans at Goodison Park are unbelievable. We've seen some of the scenes this year when the players are coming off the bus and all the blue smoke and all that type of stuff. But I still think the quality needs to be better. And Richarlison leaving for me in the way that he did, and when I say the way that he did so quickly and they kind of just let him go, I know when a player wants to leave, they have to leave. But I think that's a major loss. And obviously Dominic Calvert-Lewin being out for a long, long time now, I think is another loss. So not all doom and gloom for Everton. Now they've got the win, but I think they need to kick on from here.
Jose, big 3 points at Everton on the weekend. Their next 3 games, though, Southampton, Manchester United and Spurs. It almost makes you feel like the Saints games are must win, because United and Spurs are going to be difficult. What are you thinking? Must win, or are you expecting them to get something from United and Spurs?
Well, to be honest with you, anything can happen. For me, obviously, first of all, is the most difficult Premier League I've ever seen in terms of teams, equal, squads. Obviously, you can compare Manchester City, obviously, if Liverpool get the rhythm and things like that. But you can win and beat or lose against anybody really, and so I will not get Everton out of not getting anything against United or Spurs. It's true that it's more difficult. So Hampton is in their lead really, so they should get 3 points in this game. 100%. If they don't, obviously, it's not going to help confidence-wise for the next games as well, like you say, against United and Spurs. But definitely, obviously, the league is still very, very long. Still, in my opinion, they have the issue about the striker, that they don't have a striker that can make two figures. In my opinion, Kabir Lewin is a massive mick, and obviously missing Richarlison as well, that is going to Spurs actually as well. So it's going to be difficult season for them, but definitely, yeah, like you mentioned, yeah, they can get something against United and Spurs. Definitely they can do, but more realistically, they should try to get the 3 points against Southampton.
Liam, quick word about West Ham. Only 4 points so far from this season, 4 out of 21. They made some big signings in the summer as well. You think of the players that came in. Paqueta came in, Skamaka came in, Cornet came in as well. Surprised at this start for West Ham?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've overachieved in recent years to a certain degree. I think David Moyes in his second term there has definitely done that. Obviously, they missed out on the top four 2 years in a row, just about. So they've done an amazing job. But what they're finding right now is they're going to have to find a way to gel these types of players. Now, for me at the weekend, when they were 1-0 down, the type of manager that David Moyes is, he took off Mikel Antonio and put Skamaka on. Now, why can't you keep two centre forwards on if you're trying to score a goal? I know it sounds like the most basic thing in football, but I feel like sometimes you have to I would keep the centre forwards on to score. You don't take like for like for me. So I think David Moyes might have to adapt, his style to a certain degree, because you mentioned all the signings they made. I thought Paqueta at the weekend looked a bit off the pace. It's going to take him a little while to get up to speed, but obviously coming in from Lyon with for a lot of money, over 50 million. So he's going to have to find a way to score, because they can't be so reliant upon Mikel Antonio. So David Moyes is going to have to find a way, because right now, they're not winning games. They're not playing well. And in the Europa League, they're just about winning games. Against Silkeborg on Thursday, they just about got the win. So I feel like West Ham have definitely overachieved to a certain degree in recent years, been in and around the top four. So something needs to give somewhere.
7 games gone so far for West Ham. Wolves and Fulham next. You almost feel like these could be already for David Moyes must-win games if they harbour ambitions to finish where they did last season.